Hey everybody, this is Jen. Welcome to the homestead. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to transplant winter sown onions. That's right, we are transplanting onions today. So follow me along right here on Garden Jen's Journey. Alright, so I winter sow just about anything that can be grown from seed. Even things that people say you can't transplant. I have proven them wrong quite often. And onions are not an exception to that rule. I do it all the time. So today in my brand new garden space, I am going to show you how to transplant winter sown onions. Alright, so these are my onions. They've been sitting in these jugs for a long time. So they're not looking the best, but I can assure you they are perfectly fine. And you can see how densely these things are planted. People tell me, how many onions do you plant in your jugs? Honestly, I just sprinkle the seeds. And then, so there's probably at least 50, maybe 75 onions in here. No joke. When I go to separate them and plant them, if you want to count them, you can. But yeah, very, very easy to transplant these guys. One of the things that I stress many, many times, the easiest way to transplant anything from your winter sowing containers starts with making sure that they are watered before you transplant. So these jugs I watered last night, and I'll probably water them one more time. But you want this soil saturated. You want it soaking, dripping wet. So definitely don't be transplanting in your Sunday dress. But you want the soil really, really, really wet. And this does two things. Number one, it helps you be able to break that huge mass of a root system apart pretty easily, and helps the roots kind of slide apart. They just detach very, very easily when the soil is wet. Secondly, it helps kind of lessen the transplant shock, because these guys have been thoroughly watered. They've had quite a bit to drink, and so when you go to transplant them, they're already hydrated, and it gives you a little more time to get them settled in and get them watered into the ground, and helps lessen that transplant shock. So again, first of all, water the dickens out of your containers, and then go ahead and take your plants out. Alright, so I have got my row marked, and I've got it hoed out there to make a nice furrow. So again, here is our onions, and I've made sure that they are like really, really dripping wet. We're gonna just pop them out of the container, like so. There we go. See that lovely root system there? So yeah, right? So we're going to be dealing with a little bit of a shadow problem because the sun is coming up. But I've got to get these planted, and you can't wait till the shadows are just right to plant. So bear with me here, and I'll show you how this is done. Alright, so these are my global onions. I love these guys. They're good onions. So yeah, we're just going to take this apart just like so. You see all those onions in there, aren't they beautiful? So yeah, just pull it apart. This is why I said it's crucial to make sure you have this wet, because they slide right apart. Just like that, they just slide right apart. And if you break some roots, it's not a big deal. These are very forgiving. You just pull this apart. And there we go. We got 2 onions. Now, if you wanted to, instead of having them apart individually like this, you could do what's called clump planting. And I've done it many, many years. As you just break your big clump into smaller clumps, like say about this size here. We've got quite a few onions in here, but you could actually just plant it like that if you wanted to, and it would work. They won't get as big that way because there's a lot in here. But if you wait until they're at least this big, instead of when they're really, really tiny, but if you wait till they're at least this big, you could definitely see the individual onions, pull them apart very easily, and just plant them. So I just lay them in the ground like so. I lay them about 3 to 4 inches apart, because you gotta think about how big an onion bulb gets. And these guys are the bigger ones. So I just pull them apart like so and just set them in. And then I cover them up with the soil, and then I will water them in. It's that simple, really. Alright, so we're just going to take some straw and just lightly cover. We don't want to suffocate our seedlings. We're just trying to keep the ground damp underneath so they don't dry out. So, any questions, guys, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I'd love to help you understand how to winter sow and how to utilize it for your own crops. So it's getting hot. I have a lot more crops, including those onions, to get done. So I will see you on the next video. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. That way you can follow me along and find other winter sowing tutorials and other things that we do here on the homestead. So until next time, everybody, I hope that wherever you are, you're wonderfully blessed. Bye-bye.